Okay, so I understand you have a couple of questions, and of course, the number one thing will be how the heck do you use Dropbox to post administrative files? And the best thing I can tell you, and let me back out real quick to another folder. If we were to go to the Nevada Wing headquarters folder, you're going to notice I've got a bunch of subfolders here. Great. So,
Right.
okay, now I go to compliance inspection and I've got even more subfolders. I know what I'm trying to get to is having those subfolders actually makes things easier. It does make things easier. And I will point out, you'll notice that I am renaming some stuff. Okay. Very easy to do. I'm assuming you've gone on and that doing the online stuff is pretty simple. I'm assuming you haven't had a problem, correct?
Well, I could not get the stuff out of email into Dropbox this afternoon.
Okay, where were you trying to put it?
I was trying to put it into the admin. I was trying to put it into here.
Okay, so let's go over that because I've already stuck one thing in, and I'm going to open up the email real quick. There were three things that she sent you. There was a fundraising request. I'll open that real big. Okay.
Yeah,
For Rees Across America for the 77th, of which she has physically signed. Okay.
correct.
It's got all the stuff checked. She did a perfect job. Not everything she sends will be physically signed. This is one that she has physically signed. Great. All you have to do, open up that administration folder, and I'm showing both so it's easy for you to see. So you should see my email open
Yes,
and finance fiscal year 2016. Do you see that little folder over here?
correct.
Okay, two things. One, anytime you make a folder, I would name it by the fiscal year or the calendar year because, as you know, there are suspense dates. There are dates that we are required to throw stuff away, like personnel records after 5 years. They have to go. It's not that, it'd be nice to get rid of them. We are required in order to get rid of them because we don't want to keep records forever, and National doesn't want us to keep records forever. So I have the email open. I grab it. And you'll notice, and have you've dragged stuff on computers before, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I could simply drag it off from the email, dump it off here if I wanted. And then if I wanted, I could drag it in here. Now that's important. You'll notice you may have to do this because when I try to drag it from here, from the email directly into the folder and I let go, nothing happened because if for whatever reason, it doesn't like that. So my assumption is if I drag it from my email temporarily onto the desktop and then drag it over, now we'll wait, it's doing the upload. There it is. Did you see how that worked?
Right.
Okay, and then once I've done that, I just delete it from my desktop. It takes an extra couple of seconds. It's a pain in the tuchus, absolutely. And then of course, I can take this and I can drag this full file into Finance Fiscal Year 2016. There we go. And I can just leave it in this folder if you want. If you prefer to, like I made a separate folder called fundraising requests. So let me show you the actual tree. So under administration, I have finance fiscal year 2016. I have fundraising requests. And then here
Okay.
I have the actual file. I don't need to open it because you'll figure it out. Not a big deal. Again, the nice thing that Carol did, she signed it, which makes things so much easier. So we scroll down here. Perfect. We have the file, and the best part is, if you go back and see how they named it, they have Nevada 77th, Rees Across America. Okay, although I would have done WAA, fundraiser. Pretty simple. I drag it in. Boom. Very easy. Very, very simple. I'm going to delete this for a different reason. Well, no, I won't do it yet. So are you with me so far?
I am.
Okay, let's do another one. So the next one, I'm going to minimize this real quick. Winter survival, excellent. Okay. So we're going to scroll through here. We know it's a cap form 54, ironically for the 54th. I think that's not going to be too difficult. Great, great, great. You really don't have to check everything. Uh-oh, she didn't sign this thing. Not on the
That's what
form
I
here.
that's what I pointed out.
Yep, and that's a bit of a problem, except, now here's the nice part. I'm going to first drag this because I want to work with it in a minute. And this is why we want to get you the Adobe, the whole program that we have at Wing. It's going to make things a lot easier. So you will notice it says, Ralph, I have attached a couple of forms I signed today. So her email itself can function as the signature. Okay, well that's
Okay.
easy enough. Easiest thing to do, and again, this is how I would do it. Okay, great, I've got that. When you get this, you're going to be able to save Adobe PDF file. You can go to print or save as, and you'll notice all I have to do, come into administration. Remember, this is going to be cadet programs. Oh, maybe I should back up and take one step back. Have you ever created folders in Dropbox?
And not in Dropbox. I have on my computer, in my word processor, and in my yeah, in
On your desktop and other places
right.
like that. Good. Okay, so very similar. It's a very similar process. You can either click up here. You'll notice my cursor went up to the top and it says new folder. I could do it that way.
Yeah.
Or just like you do on your computer, right click, new folder. Either one is fine. Either one's great. First thing it's going to want to know, in terms of cadet programs, aerospace, finance, what do you want to name this thing? And this is going to take some time for you to get the feel of. Cadet programs, calendar year 2015. Now, does that stink? Yes, it does. But the cadet programs files tend to be calendar year. Or you can do fit. Right now, let's not worry about it too much, but I'm just telling you, cadet programs calendar year 2015, that's usually what tends to be the case. It tends to be set for calendar year. If you were to make a folder and call it cadet programs fiscal year 2015, it wouldn't matter. It would be fine. We would still have a pretty good idea where to go to look for this thing. Don't worry about it one bit. Easy to resolve. So
Got it.
open up in here. So that was the first part. So I created a very simple folder, and you're pretty good with this so far, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now remember, I dragged that winter survival thing up here.
Oh,
And
right.
now I want to take that email she made, and not only do I, and this is going to be a 2 to 3 step thing, so that we can put her email with this specific file so that there is a permanent record that not only was this received at Nevada Wing, but she as Wing Commander has approved and signed it. And an electronic signature like this is perfectly fine. That's perfectly valid. So a lot of the time when I do stuff, I will simply go on the email and I will say, they will say approved. Tim was great about it. He used to put on everything approved. Colonel Tim Hahn, same thing here. Okay, I have attached a couple of forms I signed today. Colonel Carol Lynn, perfectly fine, perfectly easy to get. So you'll notice I can either do it through the save feature or I can do it through the print feature. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick these two together. Give it a second. Okay, you'll notice here's the email. It's got the date. Perfect. It's got her information. It shows that she has approved this stuff. What has she approved? It says specifically what she has approved. Okay. Now it's up to you how you want to handle this. It's not, I'm a little different than other people. I like to have everything in one file, but what you could easily do, let me copy this. There's a reason why. This is the name of the file. simply come over here, name it the same thing, and I just type signature at the end. The only reason I do that is if someone wanted to inspect our files, okay, great, we got the actual form here. Fantastic. Oh, and almost the exact same name. It's right here, so that if anyone wanted to come on and see, did we get the file and did we get the signature? They're almost identical. The only difference is I've called it signature. You could do it that way if you prefer. That it makes it simple,
Makes sense to me.
easy, very simple. Now, if you want to go one step further, I'm going to show you how to do it. The nice thing about Adobe Acrobat, I highlight both files. Pretty simple. There's a little option in here, and I don't know how easy you can see it. It says combine supported files in Acrobat. I can actually take those two files and put them together into one file, which I'll show you what it does. Well, it does it. What it's going to do is it's going to ask, what do you want to put together? Do you want it as a single PDF? Yep, I want them both in, not a problem. Okay, I click combine file. The first page is that email Colonel Lynn has sent to approve. Here's the second page, here's the third page. It's all one simple, easy file, if that's how you want to do it. But let me again say, if you don't want to go this route, if you want to have two files named virtually the same thing, just, one of them says signature and the other one doesn't, that's perfectly reasonable too. Either one works better for you, will work fine for us.
I like having as few files as possible.
Okay, so I'm just going to save it as, and let me throw this on the desktop. In fact, I can name it, I'm just going to call it this, or if you want to go through and name it like one additional thing, you are certainly welcome to do it. So let's do NV054 so that you'll always, I'm a big fan of always having the unit number first, so it's easy to find. Let me hit save. It's going to ask. Okay, so let me show you again. Oops, went to the wrong one. No, I did the right one. I just gotta, because I forgot I named it something different. What am I thinking? So there's that one file. I open it up. There's the first page. There's the second page. There's the third page. And I think if you do this 3 or 4 times, it's going to make things a whole lot easier. And what I tend to do, when this stuff comes through via email to me, I pack it all together into one thing. It just makes my life easy if I very quickly go in and add all of this in one option. So let's go back to your Dropbox. If you remember, under the administration, we now created a folder called Cadet Programs, calendar year 2015. Again,
yes,
I wouldn't worry that much about fiscal versus calendar. You and Sean can work that out. That's not a big deal, however you want to do it. I click on here. And now I can simply drag. And the reason I know drag works is as I bring the cursor across, you can see the word move suddenly appears on it. So it's saying, do you want to move this into a folder?
okay.
There it is. Now it's in the folder. And if you want to verify, click it. And what we have here is the exact same file that we had just a minute ago. It's absolutely what you want. So it's got everything that you would need for administrative purposes. And then again, delete, just get rid of it.
Okay.
So pretty simple stuff in terms of actually operating it. I think it's just going to take some practice and some getting used to things. Let's go into that third file and we'll do it again and hopefully we'll have a little more success. Oops. Okay, it says CLC. I wonder if I can blow that up a bit, bless you. All right. Okay, so we have the corporate learning course, 6 to 7 November 2015, perfect. Okay. All of this stuff, Mike Cleveland, Carolyn has signed off on it. Now, does it seem a little silly that we would keep an extra copy of this? National should have a copy of it. But should and does are two different things. When I was squadron commander, I used to always keep copies of the Form 11s. I had a separate file, and every CLC, every squadron leadership school, every unit commander's course, all of them. I always kept copies, and without fail, every 3 or 4 years, some senior member would come up to me saying, hey, National doesn't have me shown as completing this course, and it was always Dan Hale for some reason. I don't know what it is with that guy, but he just had the worst luck. You know, hey, Shile, it doesn't show that I completed CLC. What sort of blankety blank is this? And okay, Dan, let me go into the file. I'd find the file, no problem. Send it to National. Within a couple of days, it was fine. So real simple. We'll do the same thing. I'm just going to drag it from my email to my desktop. Now I have to decide, do I want to name it again or not? Because it's listed as CLC NV November 2015. Okay, I could, if I want to rename it, I could rename it. If I don't want to rename it, I don't have to rename it, because from my point of view, it says everything I want to know. The only thing I might change on it would be, it says CLC NV, which is true, but it's Northern NV. And I think that's kind of important, because pretty much the only place that we are going to need to be, having CLCs or SLSs are up north in Reno or Carson, down south in Las Vegas. I'm sorry, hold on just a second while I deal with my daughters. Hold on.
Okay.
They were having a fight behind me. I apologize. So all I did is I just simply named it, and I'm trying to, there it goes, good background. CLC, Northern Nevada, November 2015. Okay. Easy, very simple for you to try to figure out. Okay. Let's go back. You'll notice we're back in the administration folder. There's one of two ways we can create the folder. This time, I'm just going to use the new folder icon. Very simple. And I'll call this one Professional Development Calendar Year 2015. Although, if you were to call it Fiscal Year 2016 and organize it that way, I think it's okay. I got to be honest with you. I'm pretty good with the file system, but there is just so much to try to wrap your head around. The expert of all this would be Sean. She can tell you what should be calendar year and what should be fiscal year. And if you make it one thing and we're coming close to the inspection and someone says, no, that's done wrong, it's very easy to fix. So we'll go into professional development. I think the best thing we can do, we'll create a new folder, because there's going to be, or you don't have to create a new folder. I mean, technically you really don't. I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm just going to call it Cap Form 11. And the only reason why, let me open it up, is that's a Cap Form 11. So that if someone needed to get in and find a previous CLC or SLS, they know to look there. I drag it across. You can see at the bottom it says uploading. Now it says uploaded. Great. Same thing. If I open up here, there's the file. Perfect.
Okay. I still have a copy of the SLS that I did.
Great.
So I should put that in here also.
Yes. Is it signed by the wing commander? Either Tim or Carol. Did you get that? I mean, I would still stick it in there no matter what. It's always better if it's signed by the wing commander. When was your SLS? Was it before or after wing conference?
Before. And I can't remember if I have a signed copy or not, but I have a copy.
Whatever copy you have, let's just go ahead and throw it in here. If and hopefully, at the very least, if you can sign it, that would be the most, that would be really important. We'll go this way.
Mike Cleveland and I both signed it, I think.
Then you should be fine.
I mean, not Mike, Gary. Okay. Anyway, my co-director.
Good. Okay. Well, Gary Swift, maybe?
No.
No, I don't know any other Garys. Yeah. Okay. So that, in a nutshell, is using the web version, which is perfectly fine for you, is how we're going to save stuff in administration. It does make things a lot easier. It truly, honestly does. And again, when that, whatever it is, I'd have to look at some of it when the finance requests, when the suspension date is gone on that, we have to delete it. I'd have to look at 10-1, or I think it's 10-1, will give us a time frame as to when we have to delete stuff and what's calendar year. Well, let's take a look while we're talking. Why am I just talking? Let's just go take a look and see. All right, forms, manuals, disclosure, conflict of interest, correspondence. I was wrong, 5-4. Oh, no. 10-2, I was close. Okay. So this has got a lot of the stuff that we will need. Okay. Tells us here we go. Electronic records are data in a form that can be created, read, stored, retrieved, analyzed, transmitted, deleted, processed by a computer, and that satisfy the legal definition of a record. An electronic database is, we don't care about that. So this makes it simple. Okay. Is there anything you have to think about? No. Good. Records management and cutoff procedures. Calendar year files cut off 31 December, which I'm sure you already knew. Fiscal year is 30 September. Not complicated.
Right.
Okay. This is pretty simple. You and Sean will not have a problem doing the file plan. That she's already essentially got a file plan. All it's simply going to do, and she'll explain it to you. It's just it's a 1 or 2 page document that Sean, like I said, already has a basic version of that says, here are the records. This is the regs that, the records are required based on what the rule is and what the table is. Not complicated. Like I said, she can explain it. And what do I mean by that? Here's a table. Okay. And it will tell you if it has to do with travel authorizations and mission support authorizations. I'll blow that up a little easier so you can see it, hopefully. There we go. Okay, travel authorization and mission authorizations. Okay. It destroy after 1 year. And so this tells us right here, when we get something, when we have something, when we create something, how long do we have until we have to get rid of it? And pretty simple, pretty easy, and maybe once every 6 months or so, we just go through and we check all the administrative files based on the calendar year and based on the fiscal year, and we get rid of what we need to. And heck, I mean, we can do it. You and I could probably just go down to Wing, get on our computers during December and then sometime during summer, and we could make that a twice-a-year event to where everything is kept up to date, and we're not in any danger of being in violation of the regulations.
Sounds good.
So, and again, you'll notice professional development training documents. Oh, look at that, destroy after 2 years. Okay. I think some of this stuff we do not want to destroy, and so you and I can talk about it and figure out after 2 years, should we create a separate file called like archive data. I mean, some of the stuff like personnel records, some of the stuff we want to destroy and we want to get out of our administrative file. But I never would get rid of those CAP Form 11s. It just, the sign-in sheets, things like that. It just makes it a whole lot easier if we have those copies. Here's one that you would care about, chaplain and character development instructor. Okay? Same thing here. Now, a lot of this stuff we should have, and I'm not too familiar with the CAP Form 34s. So is that something that Squadron generates or Wing generates?
That actually what happens is each chaplain and character development instructor fills out a 34 or a 34A online, and then they are compiled by Wing, Region, and National. But I have not made it a point to print them out once we went to the electronic version, because I was told that once they go up to National that we don't have to worry about paper copies.
Okay, I'm just looking at this regulation here. It sounds like that might not be exactly accurate, but I will also point out that the subordinate unit inspections, Okay, it says retain last 2 reports from each unit inspected. Okay, that's fine, except eServices already does that. eServices, every time that they put up a report, eServices should have all that. So Sean would know this pretty well. Tim would know this pretty well. And you have any questions, just give Tim a call. But I'm betting several of these items up here, like your CAP Form 34s and especially the SUI reports, we're not going to need to make separate files because, well, let me go in here. And this is something that everyone would have access to, but let me go into eServices. And we should, Inspector General, I go into the SUI or the CI, and I could very easily, oh, I don't want to do upload. Inspection reports. I don't know why I had a hard time with that. Okay, so I want to go to SUI. Why aren't we coming up? It's weird. Oh, maybe I have to select one of these. It's a temperamental thing. Well, now I am confused. Okay, I have no idea. So I will have to talk to Jim Anderson and find out what's going on. But this is the page that I would normally go to, and it wouldn't be a problem. I'd come onto this page, I'd select like CI, or I could look up SUI, and I could get the last couple of years of reports. And for whatever reason, it's not giving it to me, but I will have to check on that later. I don't know what the dealio. So that pretty much wraps up the administration file. And again, if we have 50 different file folders in here, depending on what works best for you and for Sean, that should be pretty simple. But 99% of what's going to happen, if we can get this set up between you and Sean, every time an email comes through that we need to be aware of or something that we need to save, we just throw it in the folder. It should be a relatively carefree process. I don't think you're going to have too many issues.
Okay.
How about questions you may have?
No. I've been doing using the computer long enough for the Explorer and so forth long enough that it's pretty simple, that part of it.
Okay.
Now, the thing I was trying to go directly from the email into
the folder.
Dropbox,
Yeah.
and so now that I just dawned on me. I didn't try doing a cut and paste. I don't know if that would have worked or not.
I don't know. My guess is it wouldn't. Now, I tend to keep, you notice that this is a lot for me. I usually don't have this much stuff up on my computer. That's actually kind of unusual for me. I usually have maybe 9 things up here. I've got a whole bunch more than normal. I've just been so busy with stuff I haven't had a chance to respond to everything. But
well, that's
yeah.
I was spending the afternoon clearing out a bunch of stuff off of my desktop as well.
There you go. Second thing that I could suggest is if you decide you want to have more than one account, or if you want to have this stuff downloaded on your computer and you want to switch between the two, easiest thing you can do, you can, where's the logout? Now I got to remember where logout is. Cute, I'm having a hard time remembering the stuff now. I don't think, shoot, the problem is because the access that I have as the chief of staff, I have a personal and a Nevada wing. I can actually go very quickly between the two. I don't think it's going to let you do the same thing. No. So all you could do if you really, really wanted to is go to the, yeah, it'd be a pain in the neck. It's not worth it. Never mind. I was going to suggest if you log out, there you go. If you log out, then you could log in on another account and you would be fine, but it wouldn't be worth doing in your situation. So never mind. Forget I said anything. We'll make it simple.
Okay.
Other questions?
Not on this.
Okay, so I'm going to stop real quick.